CTV. As we embark on a journey to realize our full potential, we all need expanded minds and limitless possibilities. We need to be accurately informed. CTV is your growth partner. With reliable, in-depth news, we tell the story from all perspectives. We bring you the story in real time. Catch our comprehensive daily bulletins in Juba Egolovie at 7 p.m. and PM edition at 9 p.m. CTV, don't blink. This is CTV. Don't blink. As we embark on a journey to realize our full potential, we all need expanded minds and limitless possibilities. We need to be accurately informed. CTV is your growth partner. With reliable, in-depth news, we tell the story from all perspectives. We bring you the story in real time. Catch our comprehensive daily bulletins in Juba Egolovie at 7 p.m. and PM edition at 9 p.m. CTV, don't blink. embark on a journey to realize our full potential, we all need expanded minds and limitless possibilities. We need to be accurately informed. CTV is your growth partner. With reliable, in-depth news, we tell the story from all perspectives. We bring you the story in real time. Catch our comprehensive daily bulletins in Juba Egolodie at 7 p.m. and PM edition at 9 p.m. CTV, don't blink. This is CTV, don't blink.
In the headlines, city authorities to target street vendors in new crackdown. Traders strategize to recover from pangs of the lockdown. Former Fast Sons share views on government interventions. In sports, Uganda finishes second at Tokyo 2020 Olympics. A very good evening to you and a good weekend to you. Welcome to PM Edition with me, Melissa Mboha, and Isaac Richamuzi on sign interpretation. Now into our top story of the night. Legislators from the opposition National Unity Platform, NUP, are still trying to access blogger Fred Lumbuye. The government critic got in trouble after falsely declaring President Museveni dead in July. Now, we have conflicting reports on his whereabouts, but the latest information suggests that he has been deported to the country from Turkey, where he was based. Legal experts explain that Turkey and Uganda do not share a reciprocal treaty or bilateral agreement that warrants extradition. His lawyer says that his extradition is thus illegal. We'll be following that story, plus exploring what his handling could mean for bloggers and YouTubers in regard to the computer misuse law. Moving on, traders in Kampala say business will never be the same after stretching through 2 lockdowns, even though the lockdown has been lifted. Suppliers dealing in scholastic materials are still out of business due to closure of schools. Eve Masawi caught up with some of them and now reports.
It's a week into business here in the city ever since this year's lockdown was partially lifted. Everyone is up and down trying to make ends meet. Much as businesses are struggling to recover from this year's lockdown, traders here have their own story. Ivan Kato is one of them. His story is unpleasant. He's not sure about the next move after finding out that most of the products in his shop were expired.
It was so heartbreaking. The expiries, the dust, rats. You know those things when you're not opening, when you're not working, everything, dust is too much. But the biggest problem is expiry. So many items, so many goods made expire, approximately to 1 million and above.
Kato says 1 week after resuming work, sales are low because schools are closed. He sells scholastic materials and businesses booms whenever students report to school.
You know, for us when the kids are at home, we rarely work. We mainly deal in goods. of students back to school. As you can see, that shop.
Another elephant in the room is rent arrears. The landlords are demanding their arrears no matter whether the lockdown brought business to a halt.
We spent almost two months at home. We had already paid 1 month. Now they are demanding us that 1 month which didn't work. Yet we didn't work any coin. But our landlords need that money, that January money.
Bashir Mwange, Chairman Chikubo, requests that government should look into this matter.
One of the missing things in the president's speech while easing the lockdown is that there was no justification for people who have been affected by the lockdown, including loss of our property, and some people lost their jobs completely. We have not had anyone coming out to fight for people who have been in Chikubo. Even as you can see, everyone is just seated. But government has forgotten that people were working before lockdown.
Kato, like other traders, cannot predict the future. What they are sure about is that the 2 lockdowns have left their businesses in financial coma.
The pandemic is going to cost us mostly the lockdown, because the previous one, we are still recovering from the previous lockdown. So it's a bit going to be hard, mostly our customers. You know, even since schools are still closed and the type of work we do, most customers are schools, bars are still also closed. So it's going to be a bit hard, even churches, because churches usually have events that need customized t-shirts. We are going to try, because it's going to be like a process. It's going to take us time to pick up.
Business in Kampala resumes with losses after a number of traders finding products expired. Eve Masawi, CTV, PM Edition.
A very touching story from Eve Masawi. Still in the world of business, the coming week does not look promising for street vendors in Kampala. Why? City authorities are preparing to sweep them out of business. While some vendors are begging to be spared, others used to running battles with KCCA are optimistic that the situation will not last long. Let's take a look.
Many Ugandans depend on small businesses and make money for a day-to-day survival. City authorities are said to disrupt vendors in operations set to start on Monday. This man wants Kampala Capital City Authority enforcers to be lenient.
Kiriwo sina kyengenda kukolawo mpozi batunoonyeza oba n'atuteeka naffe nga tugenda naye nga tewali era tujja kubeera nga tukomawo tudduka nga tukomawo.
Some are determined to stay on the streets until they find alternatives.
Tekanso bano bo twabamanyire era bajja ne tudduka ne bagendera n'obikomyawo be batutteko ne batwala kwegamba bo bajja kwonoona boonoonyi kyenkana.
While others are ready to comply to the law given by the authority, this man says he has no option but stay at home.
Nzirayo buzidu kutuula waka mbasi kyena kyakukola kuba kati wano mbadde nzija ekyokulya kati we bana abangobyewo sigenda kwaganya tteeka lya gavumenti.
Yanditusonyiwemu kubanga abantu ngaffe abantu abawansi bwene embeera omuntu alina sente zigenda kupangisa mu bizimbe kubanga tungaffe abantu abawansi tukole emmere ya leero.
But others are confident. This lady says this is not the first time KCCA is sending vendors away.
Mbadde nsaba kubakulu waggulu eyo oba ku pulezidenti waffe atusaasire wabaako no ku bbalibbali ab'omu kibuga omujuzi omungi mu kibuga waba agaana naife ku bbalibbali tunoonya kyakulya.
Now the women here survive on hand-to-mouth earnings. They request that if they're to be evacuated off the streets, they should be given another alternative. Eve Masawi, CTV, PM Edition.
On the 30th of July, President Museveni eased the 42-day lockdown. Simon Chris Makanga caught up with a few former First Sons who shared their views on how the pandemic has been handled.
Former First Sons, including former politician Professor Wasalule, son of President Yusuf Chironde-Lule, and Hussein Lumumba, son of Idi Amin Dada, have advocated for mass vaccination as the only remedy to bring back the country to normalcy.
In reality, the hard reality, the economy is hit by lockdown. When you lock down the country, tell people not to go to work, everybody stay home, people have to close this, and that is, in essence, what affects the economy.
They could have vaccinated literally all the people in the hotspots, which is around Kampala, I believe in Gulu, and now in Mbarara. So when you have those hotspots, if you concentrate on trying to vaccinate 100% rather than always having excuses that we can't get vaccinations and whatever, but if it had been prioritized in that way, I think it would have had a much greater impact.
In politics, each had a different reaction.
I'm going to make a general assessment and a pragmatic one, really. You see, many people expect because we are from the Idi Amin side, so we are sort of enemies or this. But I am an economist by education. I can look at things also very pragmatically and be able to pronounce myself in mostly administrative issues.
You asked about governance, the democracy that we have, if you can call it democracy. We've just been through an election where hundreds of people are assaulted. Many are thrown into overcrowded jails, and a substantial number are murdered because of politics. And you can point a finger at the state. Remember when you just arrived, I looked outside my gate and I was a bit perturbed because you came in a vehicle with tinted glasses, a drone.
The First Sons are full of praise for Ugandans who have represented the country in the just concluded Olympics.
Yes, the first Olympic gold medal by a woman in Uganda. That was fantastic. I think young girls get their minds to open in new directions to see, oh, so one of us from just in the streets here can go and become also and do something like that. It helps the youth. It unites the country completely on a different level than anything else. And I am happy that it is happening, and I'm sure even my late father would be extremely happy to see how this is now going and up to where sports has now recovered.
Simon Chris Makanga, CTV, PM Edition.
You are still watching PM Edition. We have highlights from the Olympics closing ceremony. Find out more when we return from this short break.
As we embark on a journey to realize our full potential, we all need expanded minds and limitless possibilities. We need to be accurately informed. CTV is your growth partner. With reliable, in-depth news, we tell the story from all perspectives. We bring you the story in real time. Catch our comprehensive daily bulletins in Juba Ekolobye at 7 p.m. and PM edition at 9 p.m. CTV, don't blink.
Welcome back to PM Edition with me, Melissa Mboha, and Isaac Richamuzi on sign interpretation. A look at other stories making headlines across the continent. South Africa is on high alert ahead of former President Jacob Zuma's court appearance, while in North Africa, Libya has stepped up measures to stem the curb of COVID-19 as the country prepares to celebrate the Muslim New Year. And a little later, we will be seeing a new addition to Egypt's soon-to-be unveiled museum. It dates over 4,000 years. Security forces have been placed on high alert in South Africa ahead of former President Jacob Zuma's court appearance this week. Officials are worried about a repeat of the July riots, which caused destructions worth billions of rand. The press reports that law enforcement will be deployed to hotspot areas where intelligence points to the greatest likelihood for unrest. The hotspots include the Pietermaritzburg High Court, where Zuma will make his appearance on Tuesday, 10th August. Libya has begun a strict 3-day lockdown to fight the rise in COVID-19 cases. This comes 10 days after the introduction of a partial curfew from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. Government announced this measure will be implemented in the center and west of the country, including the capital Tripoli. Libya has officially recorded 262,948 cases of infection, including 3,663 deaths. And in Egypt, the pharaoh Khufu's intact solar boat, dating back some 4,600 years, is the latest addition to Egypt's soon-to-be unveiled Grand Museum. The Antiquities Ministry made the announcement on Saturday. Solar boats, buried in pits next to royal burial chambers, were believed to transport the departed into the afterlife. The boat, which is 42 meters long and weighs 20 tons, was transferred on a smart vehicle, a 10-hour trip that began late Friday. It had previously been exhibited at a museum at the Giza Plateau. However, the ministry says that this transportation is aimed to protect and preserve the biggest and oldest organic artifact made of wood in the history of humanity for future generations. Away from Africa into our international news, heavy rains have left a section of North Koreans in need of relief. The president has called in the army to offer assistance. The details.
North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has called on military to carry out relief work in areas recently hit by heavy rains, state media reports. More than 1,000 homes were damaged and about 5,000 people evacuated after the ensuing flooding, state television reported earlier this week. This move comes amid concerns over an economic crisis and food shortages. Agricultural land has been damaged, and Kim Jong-un said in June the country faced a tense food situation.
It is always hard to say goodbye, and for Messi, the tear spoke more than words could say. Details after this short break.
embark on a journey to realize our full potential, we all need expanded minds and limitless possibilities. We need to be accurately informed. CTV is your growth partner. With reliable, in-depth news, we tell the story from all perspectives. We bring you the story in real time. Catch our comprehensive daily bulletins in Juba Ekolobye at 7 p.m. and PM edition at 9 p.m. CTV, don't blink.
Welcome back to PM Edition with me, Melissa Mboha, and still on sign interpretation, Isaac Ruchamuzi. Now in the world of sports, Kenyan marathon runner Eliud Kipchoge magnificently defended his Olympic title on the this morning.
Uganda in the
And the achievements they made at the Olympics. Moving on, the Tokyo 2020 Olympics have finally come to a close after 17 days of excitement and disappointment in equal doses. The closing ceremony, which has stretched over several hours, offered just the right pomp and color for the games without fans. Here is more.
The Tokyo Olympics postponed and played out. Local opposition and around 30 protesters protested at the National Stadium before the closing ceremony. However, other locals have braved heat and warmings to watch events from afar.
Goodbyes can be tough. Argentinian Lionel Messi had a taste of that today in a tearful press conference at Barcelona. Take a look.
Afam Messi took to the podium to confirm his departure from Barcelona FC. But instead of words, tears choked him for over a minute. The supportive audience applauded him after he picked a hanky from his wife to bury his tears. This moment has been a long time coming. The Argentine was set to leave the club last year, but he changed his mind. Barcelona is the most affected La Liga club. In the aftermath of the pandemic, cost cutting is the way forward, and Messi's paycheck is one huge cost on the club. Yet contracts could not let him stay for free. Even though he has not confirmed, Messi is expected to join French club Paris Saint-Germain. He's due to fly to Paris to undertake a medical test and finalize his deal with the Qatar Sports investment-owned club.
We have come to the end of PM Edition. Thank you for staying tuned in with us. My name is Melissa Mboha. Catch us every Monday to Friday for 7 p.m. That is in Juba, Egodovie, and 9 p.m. with PM Edition. Good night and be blessed.
This is CTV. Don't